Okay, hi, this is Irish Granny Helen, and I made a promise on the video I just recorded, knitting video with Gerald of Tarot Stash, that I would do a few little how to start knitting videos. Now, the hard part of this has been trying to get the camera to work right. So I apologize if it's a little awkward photography, if you can't see things exactly perfectly. I've done a couple of run-throughs. I think I've worked out how to fix it. Let me know, but let's get started knitting. Now, knitting is just using sticks to weave yarn in a particular way. And it's remarkable that anybody ever invented this. I just can't believe it. So this is going to be a very basic how to cast on some stitches. Cast on means you're making your original stitches. So for the sake of maybe clarity about right and left and everything, because sometimes the camera turns everything around. This is my left hand, and I wrote an L for left, but it's backwards. I don't know if you'll see it right. So I've got these children's knitting needles, and I thought maybe the easiest way to remember was the left is the blue, the right is the red. So you've got your two knitting needles. You have your yarn. You have a long end that's attached to the ball of yarn. This is the tail end of a huge, gigantic ball of bulky yarn I've been making Christmas presents. So it's messier than most nice, neat little round, the kitten is playing with it, balls of yarn. Don't worry about that. Okay. Left hand, short end. Right hand, long arm, long end attached to the ball of yarn. So we're going to put a stitch. We're going to cast on a stitch onto the left side. Now, I'm right-handed, and I know that left-handed people may do this backwards or have their own technique, and I'm afraid I can't help you with that. I can hardly do it being right-handed. So, short end, long end. What we're going to do is a slip knot. And if you know how to make a slip knot, it will really be obvious to you. I actually didn't realize it was called a slip knot. That just shows you. I was taught by my mother when I was very, very little. So she just did it until I could do it too. And because she was from Europe, some of the techniques she used are different from the techniques that are traditionally taught to people in the United States. There's no perfectly correct way of doing it. Many people have their own techniques. As long as you end up with the finished product, don't worry about it. The other thing I would say as a word of advice is this is going to feel awkward. Remember the first time you learned how to eat with chopsticks. Probably the tablecloth was really dirty by the time you were done. This is going to perhaps feel somewhat awkward. You're going to feel maybe like you're all thumbs. Maybe you're going to feel like you need a third hand. Don't let yourself get frustrated. Realize that knitting is very forgiving. If you do something and you end up with a mess, you just take it off the needles and carefully pull out the stitches, rewind the yarn, and you're good to go. There's not even any waste. You can buy an old woolen sweater at Goodwill, and if you're careful about it, you can unravel it. By careful, I mean you don't cut it too short in places. You can unravel that yarn, wash it, and use it. So yarn is very forgiving. This is super bulky, super chunky, what's it called? Lion brand, super chunky. I made Christmas hats out of it. Okay. It doesn't matter what kind of yarn you use, doesn't matter what size of needles you use, you'll be following the directions of your pattern. And we'll talk about that later. Now, let's just get started. Left hand, short yarn, right hand, long yarn. You're going to make a slip knot. I'm trying to make sure I get this recorded. You turn it into a loop, bring the long end from the top of the loop under the bottom, pull it through, and make it taut. And there you go. Voila. That will go on your left needle, and you'll make it taut so it doesn't fall off. And congratulations, you have your first cast on stitch. But I'm also going to do it the way I was taught. It may seem a little awkward. To me, it's faster and easier, believe it or not. Because you go on automatic pilot, I promise you, you're going to, if you practice this enough, you develop muscle memory and you just do it without even thinking. Okay, I can watch a lot of YouTube while I'm doing this. You grab the short end by your 3 bottom fingers and you make the shape of a pew, 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 with your thumb and your forefinger. Now we're going to use our thumbs and forefingers. With your right hand, you pick up the long end, you bring it over your thumb, wrap it over to your pointer. So you're just holding this apart. Bring it under your pointer so that it crosses. Using your pointer, pull it under and scoop. And that's it. Now you got your start of your cast on stitch. This is where it is a little different than the easy way. You have to hang on to this. Oops, to hang on to this. I'm trying hard to get the photography right. You pick up your left needle with your right hand. You slide it from the back, this is the back, and the bottom, this is the bottom, into that loop you've made with your finger. Okay. Then you bring the long end between your finger and the needle. Oops, finger and the needle. I'll do that again. You bring the long end under the needle and between your finger and the needle. Hanging onto the needle with your right hand, you use your pointer to go over the needle, and there you go. You've got your loop. I won't belabor that. That might seem more difficult. I promise it's not. When you practice it, you go on automatic pilot. Now we're going to cast on some stitches and we're going to use both needles. This is the right needle. This is the left needle. You take your right needle and from the bottom back, you slip it under through the loop and you form an X with the left needle on the top and the right needle on the bottom of the X. And they're kind of hugging, tied together with that yarn. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from both directions. This is what you see. And this is hard to do. This is how you see it from in front where you're holding it to knit. And this is what the back end looks like with that right needle on the bottom. Okay, we've got the long thread on the right, the short on the left. Okay, you have to maneuver those needles so it feels comfortable. You take the long yarn with your right hand, go under the right needle, over the right needle, but oops, between the needles. Let's do that again. You go under the right needle, over the right needle, and into the center of the cross between the needles. You're holding the long yarn with your right hand. So get a grip on it. You want it to be fairly taut. Now we're going to move the right needle and scoop. Let's see, how can I get a good glimpse of this? You're going to use the right needle to scoop up. No, I have to do it this way. To scoop up that long yarn. Okay, there's your second cast on stitch. But oh, we've got a problem. It's on the right needle. We don't want that. We want it on the left needle. How do we do that? Well, when transfer it, you take your left needle, you go to the back and the bottom of that stitch, run your needle through the loop. Make sure it's nice and secure on your left needle. Now you've got 2 stitches on your left needle, but it's sharing one with the right needle. Let's kick out the right needle. Yeah, you have 2 stitches. Let's do that again. Right needle in your right hand, long yarn in your right hand. You're using your fingers whatever way feels comfortable to prevent these from sliding right off. That's going to happen. Don't get mad at yourself. Don't get frustrated. It takes a knack of learning how to hang on to everything. You're doing a lot all at one time, and you will develop your own style. And it doesn't matter if it's different from other people's technique. As long as the finished product is good, you're good to go. Okay, when we're starting a new stitch, casting on a new stitch, we come from behind and the bottom of that front stitch, form a cross. The right needle is on the bottom, the left needle is on the top. This is the long yarn in the right hand. What are we going to do next? We're going to bring it under the right needle, over the right needle, between the two stitches. Now you pull it taut, hang on to that needle, maneuver the right needle so that you scoop up that yarn. Oops, scoop up the yarn. And there you go. Now you've got 2 stitches on your left needle, and you've got this random stitch you just made cast onto your right needle. That's a nuisance. It's on the wrong side. Let's transfer it. Take your left needle, take it, see if I can do this. Take it to the back and the bottom. The back and the bottom of the right needle. There we go. Back and the bottom of the right needle. Pull it through that stitch. Make sure that stitch is slid nice and far from the point so it doesn't somehow end up accidentally sliding off your needle. We got 3 stitches on our left needle. Wait, 3 stitches on our left needle, but it's sharing the most recent one with the right needle. Let's get rid of the right needle and pull the yarn. There you go. 3 stitches. So let's do a few more. I'm going to take it slowly. I'll talk you through the next one, and then we'll do a few and see if you can follow, and then we'll talk you through a few more. We're going to cast on a new stitch. We take our right needle, we insert it from behind and below into the most recent stitch on the left needle. We form a cross. There's the cross with the left needle on top, the right needle on the bottom. You grab your long yarn with your right hand. You bring it under, let me do that again, make it more clear. Under the right needle, over the right needle, and between the needles, the cross. Hang on tightly to your long yarn. Maneuver that right needle. Let's see if I can get this. It's very hard to do with this camera. Under, bring it through, kind of scooping up that yarn. There you go. So now you've got 3 stitches on the left, 1 on the right. Let's transfer it. Take the left needle, go under and behind. Make that more clear. Go under and behind the right needle. Let's see. How can I get that? Oh my God. Hang on now, I apologize. I'm not a photographer. Under and behind the right needle through the loop. Now they're sharing that stitch. We don't want them to kick out the right-handed needle. Now you have 4 stitches. Okay, I'm going to do it without talking. And I'm going to try to do it slowly and see if you can anticipate. Go. Do it again. Cross, under, over, bring it through. Pick it up from the back bottom, and there you go. Oops, I'm sorry. When I watch my own knitting, I have to bring it close so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, we'll do it again. Under, over into the middle of the cross, scoop it up. Now you got it on the right needle. Transfer it from behind and below. And that's it. Let's do it again. Bring it around, scoop it up, transfer it over. Bring it around, scoop it up, transfer it over. So let's see, how many stitches do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do one more, and I'll say it slowly and do it again. You bring your right needle behind and under to form an X. With your right hand, you take the long yarn, you bring it under the right needle, over the right needle, in between the cross. You use the right needle to scoop that long yarn from behind. Make a loop on the right needle. Let's transfer it. Take the left needle, go behind, go behind and under, and scoop it onto the left needle. And that's how you cast on a row. That's all I'm going to do on this video. You let me know if this camera work is so bad you can't stand it, if I was able to explain it clearly enough. I'm not a professional. That might not be obvious to everybody. Just let me know what you think. And if this has been helpful, we'll do part 2. So that's the end of part 1, how to cast a stitch on. Thank you for bearing with me. It's Longer Foil.